Welcome to Wetsuit Outlet. This is Everything Wetsuits, a series where we review the best wetsuit ranges from the best brands across the world and give you an insight into the terminology and the technology that goes into the suits so you can make the most informed decision possible when choosing your next wetsuit. If you can't tell already, today I'm here at Xcel and we are reviewing their incredible range of suits. Some of the best on the planet, I think, especially winter wetsuit wise, thicker suits and colder waters. These are some of the most premium suits that you can get your hands on. Highly rated by independent tests like Stab Magazine. Ourselves, we are independent and unbiased, and other outlets that will rave highly about the Xcel wetsuit range. So we're going to dive in. As always, we're going to go through a little bit of the technology first and the technical terms that you're going to hear throughout this video and you might find on reviews online. I can break those down, make them more understandable, and then we'll go into the range of the wetsuits that you can see behind me. The main thing with Xcel, I would say the technical terms revolves around their lining and then one regarding the flex in the neoprenes. So what you'd see is they use like TDI, TDC, TDR, TDIR as like the four main kind of lining descriptions. TDI, basically you can abbreviate that to Inferno, which is this lining here where you can see the flames, the black and yellow. Very, very fleecy, incredibly warm, like the warmest lining you'll find on any wetsuit. Premium cold water wetsuit. We're going to go through the suit for further detail, but that's the Inferno. So really, really warm for tension and still remaining flexible. It's why that is the premium cold water suits. Then you come to TDC. If you abbreviate that down to cellulant, which is this really cool looking thermo kind of inspired lining. It doesn't just look good. This is as scientific as it gets when you get behind it. First, I think it's 13 minerals that go into this, and essentially what this does is promote blood flow. So it keeps you warm by getting your blood moving. So this is a suit I use a lot of, and this is the suit where I know I'm going to be paddling up really active. Because of this lining, you're going to be as warm as you ever need to be. It doesn't feel super warm like to your touch when you're holding it like this. It doesn't feel like that really fleecy high pile kind of lining, but because of the science behind it and how it promotes that warmth by getting your blood moving around your body, it is as warm as you could find and real scientific. So that's TDC, or cellulant. And then you have TDR, which again, take that down to one word, of radiant. So that is this red and white pinky looking lining that you can see here. What this has is, it has, you know, when you see someone on an ambulance and they've got these like silver blankets around them, that's what is behind this. So it has, I believe it's aluminium, but it's essentially, when you stretch it, you can see it goes all shiny. And that is what keeps that really, really warm. So that is like what I would say is like a workhorse. If you're one of those guys who sits and waits in between sets, you want to be warm. That is where the radiant comes in, keeps you super warm, keeps its flex, but it's like premium for that, you know, taking on the colder waters. And then the last one, which is TDIR, which is like a newer lining, is this one here. The IR, or the abbreviation I would bring down to this, is infrared. So this is a lighter, low pile lining, which is incredibly stretchy, and there's a reason for that, which when we talk about this suit, we'll go in a little bit more. But it has heat generating fibers inside this low pile, so it keeps you warm while blending stretch and flex and comfort. It's very, very soft. It feels like a cuddle. So it's a very, very soft, stretchy, warm, comfortable. Comfort is the key with that suit. Lining in that suit, and that is why their range is so successful, because they have clear outlines of what suit does what and what you want, and you can decide what type of surfer you are, what you want, if you're going to sit around, if you're going to be super active, if you're going to like the coldest of waters, or if you want comfort, you can easily find it within the Xcel range. Now that's the technology broken down in terms of inside. We're just going to quickly talk about channel flex, which is something you'll hear about when I talk about like what's the outside of the suits. We'll show you a close-up. And it's where essentially like there's slices or cuts like purposely done in the wetsuits, which allows the water to flow, and it's called channel flex. So we'll touch on that a little bit more, but that is what we're talking about there. And then the only confusing thing I think about an Xcel wetsuit is that they've released an all new channel flex in this wetsuit, but it's completely different. It's a different pattern and how the fibers are woven, but they've called it channel flex, and it is stupidly stretchy, which again, when we talk about this suit, lends to the comfort and the stretch and the lightweight nature of this suit, and why that is special. So that's the technology and the technical term side of that, and the side of the range. Now we're going to dive in and we're going to have a look at some wetsuits. The first wetsuit we're going to look at is called the Drylock from Xcel. This is the one that everyone is chasing, in my opinion. This is the cold water wetsuit, the wetsuit that's going to be warmer than anything you've probably worn in terms of a wetsuit, and there's good reason for it. It's very, very much premium. This is the inside, this is the outside. Starting with the outside, firstly, super sleek design, really, really nice branding. You see that this has the smooth skin panel, chest and back, which obviously keeps you warm and helps with wind resistance, mainly in the colder areas. Obviously adds insulation as well. That's for wind protection more than anything else. It also has the smooth skin on the hood, which keeps keeps your noggin warm, really, more than anything else. And the hood has a fleece lining, which we'll talk about when we talk about the inside. It's nanoprene light with the channel flex. So channel flex is a multi-directional material that maintains its memory. So it allows the suits to be really, really stretchy, but bounce back so they don't get saggy. This is a 6 mil, and this is their premium cold water suit. And look at that, like, it's for this suit to be that flexible and that like unrestrictive is it's quite crazy, to be fair. That's the reason why brands are chasing the Drylock, and that's why this sets the bar for a cold water wetsuit. Internally, I think it looks pretty cool. So the TDI, so the Inferno, really high pile, really, really warm. Obviously covers chest, back, and your thighs and the back of your legs and your bum. It's fully lined throughout, triple glued and blind stitched with a water-based glue. You will not be warmer than when you wear this wetsuit. I would challenge anyone to find a wetsuit that's warmer than this. Scotland, Scandinavia, the Arctic, go and chase polar bears in it and you'll still be super, super warm. The range comes in a 5'4" and a 6'5", and they're hooded or non-hooded options. Just little features: chest zip, really, really easy entry. The guide skin neck keeps it super comfortable, easy to get on and off again. The other thing I would say, and I'm going to say this about every suit that's here because I've been giving them tests, they're super easy to get on and off, especially off. When you're cold and you have that feeling that your thumb's not working and you're trying to get the wetsuit off properly without ripping it apart, which is a key part as well. These are really easy to get on and off, which I think is a major player, especially in colder temperatures. But that's the Drylock. This is, if you feel the cold, if you want a wetsuit that you will not be cold in, if you're going on an excursion and you're taking on colder waters and it's icy, the Drylock is the premium cold water wetsuit on the market, and you should get one. So next wetsuit we're going to talk about is the Xcel Infiniti. This is a really, really good suit. I've actually got one of a suit that I absolutely love. So again, quick shot of the inside and out. Very, very good looking wetsuit. The branding is clever. You know what you're wearing, but you're not screaming about it, and it's not garish and loud. I'll tell you what we do on the Infiniti is we start on the inside and finish on the out. So with the Infiniti, as discussed with the technical part of this video, this has the TDR, which is the radiant lining. A little sample here to show you that silver ambulance blanket analogy that I used. That is on the inside of this, which is why when you stretch this, you can see that the shininess come through. It's very warm. It retains your body heat using that aluminium blanket, which is the kind of key part of this wetsuit. This is like the workhorse wetsuit. So if you're one of those surfers who go for long sessions, it's like a long period, you're waiting for waves. You're not one of those who's paddling up and down the lineup, but you want to stay warm. This is where the radiant comes to play. It's fully lined, fully taped. Again, it's triple glued, blind stitched. It has the Fusion X taping, so very, very little water ingress. Again, smooth skin neck, the glide entry, so easy to get on and off. And it does lock in as well, so you very rarely get flushes through these suits. And obviously you've got like the ankles and the wrist cuffs, which again stop flushes coming in that way. So warmth you get from this suit, but without being restrictive. Again, this is a 5mm and you're getting a lot of flex, so you won't be feeling any paddle restriction and any kind of tiredness from this suit when you go for your like 2-hour plus sessions. And what you get is the channel flex, the original channel flex, which again is that multi-directional material, so it allows flex in like every direction. So that's why the suit is really, really stretchy, but alongside that it maintains its shape. So if you have a suit that's real stretchy and stretches once but then doesn't return, obviously it's going to be saggy, it's going to be horrible, it's not going to be the one. The materials used here, the nanoprene light neoprene, keeps the wetsuit nice and light. It's a 5mm, this is not heavy at all. You know, I've actually had one of these for about 2.5 years now, and it's still in very, very top condition, and I used it a lot, which is why I can vouch for it. The hooded version does come with the fleece, the radiant fleecing in the hood as well. The difference between this and the Drylock, this doesn't have the smooth skin panel on the hood or obviously on the body. It does come 5mm, 4mm, 3mm, 6mm with hood and without hood options, as you've seen there. So that is the Infiniti, and that is one of the higher recommended suits that come from my personal recommendation, having used it, and I love it, and it does last a long time. I can really vouch for the durability in that suit. So moving on, we're going to now talk about the Xcel Comp X. So before I pick up a suit, the next 3 suits I'm going to talk about is the Comp X, the Comp and the Comp Plus. We will break them down and show them side by side, especially the Comp and the Comp Plus. The Comp X, you could almost give it a different name. It is very much different to a Comp and a Comp X in terms of its features and benefits, and you'll see why obviously in this video. But yeah, so this is the Comp X, which features the TDC, so the thermo-dry cellular lining. So this is the one where I should probably stick on a lab coat and talk about the feature, like in depth about what's going to be in here, but you'd fall asleep. What you need to know is that the materials and the minerals, is 13 minerals in here. They're actually used in scientific and medical professions to promote blood flow. That keeps you warm. So this is a suit, if you're like an active surfer and you want a suit that's going to see you all the way through the winter, this is where this comes in. I've had one of these for just over a year now, and I've pretty much exclusively used it the whole way around last winter and so far this winter. And I didn't find it cold at any stage. It comes in a 4.5mm, 3.5mm, or a 5.5, 4.5. Like the 4.5mm is really, really stretchy. It kind of lends its name to that comp name. It's very, very, very stretchy, and you can paddle around in this zero restriction in a 4.5mm suit. It feels like you're in a free two. I actually say to people, I think this is the closest suit I've found to being a cold water winter wetsuit that has the stretch and feel of a summer suit when you're paddling around and when you're popping up. I've said it before, it doesn't feel like, you don't grab it and you're like, wow, that's going to be super warm. Just trust the science. It will keep you warm. It keeps your blood flow moving. It technically does also promote recovery because your blood flowing and not cramping up and things like that. But that's the inside of the Comp X. And then the outside looks like this, very stylish, again, minimal branding that's needed, but it's there just to let people know, you're pretty cool, you're rocking an Xcel suit. Again, channel flex throughout the wetsuit. This is a 5.5 mil, and like I could go further, but my arm won't actually allow me. But it pings back to its original state. And no, that's just so key because it adds to that durability. Wetsuits aren't cheap. Premium wetsuits aren't cheap, but you get longevity and you get life out of these suits. You use them a load, they return to that original state. They don't go saggy, they don't go horrible, they don't crack. To touch on it, hood as well. It's a pretty thin hood. You don't need a super thick hood, and it has got the cellulent lining, the TDC lining. So your blood flow is going around your head as well. So maybe it helps you think a bit better as well. Who knows? Maybe I need to stick one on now. But that is the Comp X. Highly, highly recommended. Moving on from the Comp X, we're going to talk about the Comp Plus, which is the newest suit from Xcel. But we're also going to talk about the Comp. I'm going to quickly show you a side-by-side comparison internally and externally, break those down, and then quickly go deeper into those suits. Externally, they don't look too much different until you get real up close. So this is the Comp, this is the Comp Plus. Essentially, as the Plus denotes, this is an upgrade of this. So in here, you still find the Superprene light neoprene, really, really stretchy, great Comp suit. Very, very good price point on this suit as well. Looks super cool, minimal branding. The Comp Plus has the all new channel flex. So it has this look when you get up close to it. It's kind of like hexagony, and it stretches like no other. It is unbelievably stretchy, and it just bounces fast. That is the key behind the Comp Plus, and why this suit is winning awards and getting accolades from some of the biggest names in surfing as a suit that is comfortable, light, and warm. Really, really easy to get this suit on and off because of that stretch. So that's the outside, and then this is the inside. So this features TDIR, thermo dry infrared lining, which is this stripy prison suit. This feels so nice, like you'd happily get slapped by that. It's really, really soft. It's low pile, which means that it works with the channel flex. So the stretch of the lining matches the stretch of the materials used throughout the suit. So they're not fighting against each other. It's fully taped and it stretches. I just can't get over how much stretch it's got on it. So the heat generating fibers in the TDIR give you warmth. The stretch and the flex and the feel gives you comfort. Stab magazine have just taken this and done an independent review on this suit. When launched, Xcel claimed that this was the most comfortable wetsuit in the world. We wanted to test it. Stab wanted to test it independently. Stab basically have done an article which says it is the most comfortable wetsuit. We agree. I agree. This is a suit I've got for this winter, 5'4". It stretches like it just stretches like probably like most very flexible 4 mils, but keeps me absolutely toasty. The lining features into the hood, so you can get this in a 4-3, 5'4", hood, non-hooded, and it's an incredible wetsuit. It sits in the range. It would sit under the CompX for warmth slightly, but stretch and flex over pretty much anything else. So that's the Comp Plus, award-winning by Stab, and more importantly, we give it our big recommendation, big thumbs up, big green tick. Moving on from the Comp Plus to the Comp and the internals of that. So again, it's not a huge difference, but you'll see why there's just upgrades. So this is 75% taped. So basically from here down is fully taped. Good advice stitch, water-based glues, all of that jazz. And then you can see that the lining goes from the chest to the top of the knee with the TDIR thermo dry infrared lining. This blended with the Superprene materials through the suit mean that you get incredible stretch and great warmth for a price point that is just incredible. I think that this is a really, really underrated suit if you're on a slight bit of a budget You still surf a lot, you still want premium features, but you don't want to break the bank. I absolutely love it. Just to go back over the outside of that, chest zip entry, really easy to get on and off, just flies off. Like, that's one of the great things, is you don't get cold standing around taking this thing on and off. One big point about this as well, it's got very minimal paneling, so you don't get unneeded paneling, unneeded joins, which again leads to this being very unrestrictive even in the thicker sizes. So absolutely love that suit. The Comp from Xcel, along with the Comp Plus, they do join. That's why they should be called and have that name together, because the Comp is there. The Comp Plus is a step up in terms of technology, warmth, stretch, fit, but obviously the price is reflected in that as well. Both highly recommended, tick a lot of boxes. Moving on to the last wetsuit of the Xcel range, which is the Axis wetsuit, which is here. I don't have an inside out version, but I can talk through it. So this is Xcel's option as a budget entry suit, but it packs a real good punch for the price. You're getting a pretty high-end wetsuit for a pretty low-end price. So on the outside, again, classic Xcel. I've chosen the color, but obviously it comes in black, and minimal classy branding through the suit, so it looks really good, but it still shows off that you're surfing a core brand and a core wetsuit. The super preen light throughout, so very, very stretchy, like very stretchy, for a wetsuit. This comes in a 3mm, 4mm and 5mm option. Another new part about the Axis is actually it now comes in this chest zip option. So previously it was only back zip, now you can get back zip or chest zip through the range, which is a great new feature. I prefer chest zip, if I'm honest. It's triple glued and blind stitched again, so is the full range using water-based glues. And then, so the chest panel is thermo light, so you still have a lining in this wetsuit, even though it would be classed as an entry-level kind of budget option. For a lot of wetsuits on the market, you will be paying budget level, and the wetsuits will be not as technical as this, whereas you get this low pile thermal on your chest and back, which keeps you really nice and warm, and it maintains the lightness as a stretch throughout the wetsuit. It has performance stretch, and one thing I can safely tell you about this suit is this might be the easiest wetsuit to get on and off I've ever put on. So incredible stretch, incredible price point, and incredible performance from the Axis from Xcel, and it's a wetsuit that I really, really like at that price point. Is something that should definitely be on your radar. That wraps up the wetsuits. As mentioned, let's grab this guy. Xcel do separate hoods, and your accessories are as important as your wetsuit. If you've got bad boots, bad gloves, bad hood, and a good wetsuit, it can let you down. Like if your extremities get cold, if your hands and feet are cold, your wetsuit is facing an uphill battle. Xcel have a range of incredible boots in 3mm, 5mm, 7mm, split toe, round toe, and I have a couple of pairs of Xcel boots now. One pair I think is nearly 5 years old. They are that durable, that warm. The bottoms are great, really grippy, and incredible boots. And then also through the range, you can find mitts, gloves. They kind of pair up with the suits. So you can get Drylock mitts, you can get Infiniti gloves. Obviously that matches. So the Drylock range of accessories are a premium range, super, super warm, going to keep you, like I say, you could go and chase polar bears and swim after them and you're going to be warm. And then the Infinitis are the workhorses, and the others just blend down into performance and thicknesses depending on what you need. So incredible range. You can also get kind of change mats and things from Xcel as well, which we have all online at Wetsuit Outlet. So that is the wetsuit range at the moment from Xcel. Pleasure to review these suits and to test these suits and to wear them. I absolutely love them. I might go for a surf now. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Hit us up in the comments if you want to see anything else. And we'll be back soon. Cheers.